Hey YouTube, what's going on? This is PokeTCG Gamer back with another video. And in today's video, we are going over my Week 3 match versus Hunter and the Texan Trappers. Let me make sure I didn't just mess up his name, as I'm pretty sure his name is the Texan Trappers. Let me just make sure. Yep, Texan Trappers, okay. So, I didn't mess that up. So we are 1-1 right now. Spoilers if you didn't see my Week 2 match. Which is going to be uploaded shortly before this. I did have a relative pass away, so I didn't have time to upload, or I didn't have time to record any of these. So I'm doing this on the weekend, trying to get these done. But yeah, so we are 1-1 spoilers with a +2 differential, which is pretty good. We are trying to get to the top of the division right now, as currently before this game we were sitting at in the top part, but we are number 1 right now. Yeah, so let's just go into this. We have I'll just go over both of our teams real quick. So these are the mons that I can bring, and then I'll go over the mons he can bring. So I can bring Weavile, Mew, Mega Heracross, Arcanine, Jellicent, Whimsicott, Hitmontop, Almola, Metagross, Golurk, and a Cellgore. And the Hunter and the Texan Trappers, he can bring Mega Charizard Y, Starmie, Haxorus, Galvantula, Cobalion, Venusaur, Dugtrio, Granbull, Gligar, Uxie, and Houndoom. So very threatening team. He's got Sun going on. He's got Webs. He has Dugtrio to trap things like my Arcanine, which is my only switch into a Mega Charizard Y. So there's that. So let's just go over the team. So right here we have Arcanine. We have Mew, we have Weavile, we have Metagross coming in for the first time, as well as Arcanine. We have Almola, and once again making another return is Golurk, as Golurk, Mew, and Almola have actually appeared in all 3 of the games, which is pretty cool. I didn't expect Golurk to be this be a mon that I would be bringing every week, but that's what it's been turning into so far. So At the end of this replay, I'm gonna go over to the NPL standings to show you guys where we are right now, currently how we're doing compared to the other teams. But let's just go over this team really quick, then we can go into the replay, and yeah, let's just do that. So right out, I was definitely expecting Mega Charizard Y. And I was definitely expecting Galvantula. Webs are really nice versus my team, and even if it wasn't Webs, offensive Galvantula does a lot of work to my team. I don't have the best switches to it. I was really expecting Starmie as his spin option, but I guess I did have Jellicent in a spin blocker, so he may have not wanted to do that. But offensive Starmie, in that sense, does a lot of work to my team as well. I definitely expected I for sure expected Granbull and Gligar, as Gligar switches into things like the Metagross, which Metagross actually does a lot of work to his team, and either he was going to bring a defensive Starmie, but Thunder Punch still 2-hit KOs, or he's going to bring Gligar, which in that sense Ice Punch also 2-hit KOs, but yeah, so I was definitely expecting those two, and I was expecting Dugtrio to try to entrap my Arcanine. So right here we have we have Arcanine Tigger with the Shed Shell, the Flash Fire ability, so we don't take any damage from Mega Charizard Y's boosted Fire Blasts or Flamethrowers, whatever he carries. And we have Flare Blitz, Morning Sun, Wild Charge, and Will-O-Wisp with a max Spadef nature. We have 4 in attack. And then we have 4 in speed, just so we don't speed tie with something like the Uxie. If he had no speed on the Uxie, we won't speed tie with that. But right here we have Arcanine with the Shed Shell, and this thing's main job was to wall the Mega Charizard Y, as I do have Wild Charge to hit that thing for a very good amount of damage, and Flare Blitz actually might 2-hit KO in the Sun. I'm not sure of the exact calc, it may be a roll. I know in the battle I did 47%, spoilers, but Wild Charge also hits the Starmie, and it'll hit Houndoom for a good amount of damage, as Arcanine, it does wall the Mega Charizard Y, it does wall the Houndoom, and that's basically those two things. They really threaten the rest of my team, so Arcanine's definitely going to have to stay healthy for those. And this is another reason why this Mew set is what it is because I couldn't have rocks on my field for things like my Weavile, my Arcanine. Arcanine, it needed to be at the highest amount of health as possible throughout the game, so I could easily switch into Houndoom and Mega Charizard Y. But right here we have Spirit our Mew with leftovers, and we have an interesting set, or not super interesting, but an interesting spread with Defog, Psychic Roost, and U-Turn. We have max HP with 184 defense. We have 60 special defense EVs with a calm nature, and we have 16 into speed. So my thought process here was, with the 16 speed, I was speed creeping a speed creep in my mind. I was thinking if he was going to speed creep anything with Uxie, he'd speed creep a defensive Mew. And if I was gonna run like 8 speed on Mew, like in my leftover 8 EVs, like if I went max HP, max defense or something, for example, and I put 8 into speed, he could go to 239. So I just went to 240. It's only 16 EVs into speed, and I felt that it would help me a little bit. And I have Defog. I can keep off rocks. I can keep off webs. He doesn't have anything that punishes Defog, so that's very nice. I have Roost to keep myself healthy, and then I have U-Turn, so I can U-turn out on things like I can't touch, like Starmie. I can U-turn out on. I can U-turn out on Uxie, and I can U-turn out on Houndoom if he decides to like hard switch that in. So yeah, and the spread, basically this allows me to not be 2-hit KO'd by a +2 Cobalion if he does not have a boosting item, which is very nice. And this special defense allows me to switch into Starmie's attacks. I'm not 2-hit KO'd. If there's no rocks in the field, I'm not 2-hit KO'd by 2 Life Orb, Analytic, Hydro Pumps, and only the first one would be Analytic once I switch in. But yeah, so I'm not I'm not O-code by the combination of 2 Hydro Pumps with 1 Analytic. I can switch into the Venusaur pretty comfortably. Even though knockoff's a thing, I can still take that pretty well and hit back with a Psychic. So that's basically what this Mew is gonna do this week. So next up we have our Weavile, Ron Weasley with the Life Orb, and the moves Knockoff, Icicle Crash, Ice Shard, and Low Kick. So basically I was either gonna speed creep. I was gonna speed creep Doug Trio with this, or I was gonna speed creep Starmie, and I felt that I didn't really need any extra bulk, so I just I sped crept Doug Trio, so just in case like he's not like a sash set, I can OHKO it and outspeed him. I have Knockoff, which hits a lot of his team really hard. It hits Starmie for super effective damage. Knockoff's going to be doing a lot to the, or it's going to be knocking off Granbull's leftovers, or it's going to be knocking off, or it could knock off Gligar's Eviolite. It does a lot to Uxie. Icicle Crash is what hits his team harder, though. I think it hits Mega Charizard Y for a 2-hit KO. OHKO's a non-Yachi Haxorus. OHKO's Venusaur. OHKO's Doug Trio without a sash. OHKO's Gligar. And then we have Low Kick to finish off our coverage, which can do 80 to 94 to a Cobalion, which is very nice. So just get a little chip damage off, and Low Kick will OHKO. And then Houndoom is also OHKO'd by Low Kick after rocks, which is very nice. Even though Low Kick to a Houndoom is only base 60 power, it will still kill after rocks, which is very nice to know. And was very useful to know in the battle. So yeah, that's basically the Weavile, pretty straightforward. Next up, we have our Metagross. And his only wall to my Weavile, like straight wall, is his Granbull. Even if I had Poison Jab, that wouldn't be doing a ton. So to counteract that a little, like, and create a little offensive core, we have Metagross to core a little bit with Weavile, with the Sugar Berry, to allow us not to be successfully trapped by his Doug Trio. And we can also take an Earthquake from a Granbull, even better than we would. And we have the coverage of Ice Punch, Thunder Punch, Meteor Mash, and Bullet Punch. Meteor Mash plus Bullet Punch allows us not to be trapped by a Doug Trio. Like I said, it's the combination of EQ plus Sucker Punch from full won't kill us, while the combination of Ice Punch plus Bullet Punch, or Meteor Mash plus Bullet Punch, either combination would kill the Doug Trio in turn. So we have Thunder Punch, which it's things like the Mega Charizard Y or the Starmie if you wanted to hard switch those in. Ice Punch hits things like the Gligar and Venusaur for super effective damage. We are kind of hard-walled by the Cobalion, but I really wasn't expecting that this battle, considering all the things that we had for it. And I do have things like an Almamora, I have a Mew, I have Golurk, which that kind of even walls it a little bit, so I really didn't expect it. It didn't have a good matchup versus my team. But basically, this is the Metagross set, and the speed allows me to, I can speed creep. What did I speed creep with this set? I'm pretty sure I had a speed creep Uxie. Like, once again, I didn't want to go. I sped crept Uxie if he was 237 speed, which would outspeed no speed Mew. So, and I didn't want to go Jolly. I really wanted the Adamant Nature, which was it turned out to be very nice. But yeah, that's basically the Metagross set. Once again, pretty straightforward. Next up, we have Almamora with the Rocky Helmet Regenerator, Wish Protect, Ice Beam, and Scald. With once again the max defense with 8 in special defense. So this thing is basically here for the Haxorus. Ice Beam allows me not to be total setup fodder, but once again, it's not the best. Metagross with a Shuca Berry can check the Haxorus at +1 because it can live an Earthquake, but it's still kind of iffy. Ice Beam will do a good amount. It'll 3-hit KO the Haxorus, I'm pretty sure. After Rocks, it definitely 3-hit KOs the Haxorus with Ice Beam. Scald, it can get off damage, or Scald could, it can get burns, obviously. But it could basically Scald was just for like getting burns. It hits the Cobalion harder than Ice Beam, obviously. And like a sub SD Cobalion actually sets up completely on this set, as I can't break a sub from a Cobalion with a Scald. But neither could Waterfall. There really wasn't anything I could do about that. I really wasn't expecting the Cobalion, like I said. And Mew would be my initial switch into Cobalion anyways. So yeah, there's that. Basically, this thing was here to stop Haxorus from running through my team, as I do have like Ice Shard Weavile to check that. But if he's Yachi, even after chip damage, I wouldn't be able to kill him. So yeah, that's basically that set. A lot of straightforward sets here. As right here, we're gonna go into our last set, which is the Golurk, Papa Smurf, which is basically this is how we were getting up our rocks. And if you look at his team, his only ways of removing hazards are Gligar and Starmie. Starmie is spin blocked by Golurk, and Gligar is 2-hit KO'd by Ice Punch. So I did make this my rocker this week, and I have 244 speed, which allows me to outspeed no speed Gligar. And then I have max attack Adamant and this 8 in HP, 4 in defense. I have the coverage moves of Ice Punch, which hits the Gligar and stuff. Shadow Punch OHKOs the Starmie, and does a lot to Mega Charizard Y. I'm pretty sure that should OHKO after Rocks. Ice Punch for the Haxorus. EQ hits Galvantula on Cobalion and Venusaur. Ice Punch hits like the Ice Punch hits like the Dog Trio. Basically the Gligar, and Shadow Punch also hits the Uxie. Basically, its stab moves with Ice Punch do a lot to his team. And because of the Pasho Berry, I can successfully keep up my rocks versus Starmie as long as it doesn't burn me. As he can't spin and he can't OHKO me with a Hydro Pump or a Scald, and I could OHKO him with a Shadow Punch. So this basically, it gets up my rocks and it can keep them there because it beats both of his hazard removers with the Ice Punch will 2-hit KO with Iron Fist, and Shadow Punch will OHKO the Starmie, and I can live with the Passion Berry. So let's just get right into the battle, guys. It was pretty straightforward for a team builder. But right here, we got a battle versus Hunter. And he did bring a lot of what we expected. He brought the Grand Bull and the Gligar, which we expected for things like the Weavile and the Metagross and stuff like that. He did bring the Charizard Y, which does a lot of work to my team. He did bring the Galvantula for webs. He brought the Dugtrio for trapping. And then Houndoom, it didn't have, like I said, it had a pretty good matchup versus my team as a whole. So it was a good bring on his part for that. So let's just get right into the battle. I kind of expected a Galvantula lead. So I just let off with my Golurk. But he leads off with his Dugtrio. Now right here, this is a pretty haxy first turn to start off the battle. So right there, he does hit me up with an Earthquake, which crits me and does 67%. So I was like, oh come on. So now I'm gonna be 2 KO'd and trapped by this Doug trio because it crit me. And without the crit, I'm pretty sure it would have done about 45%. So I wouldn't have been 2 KO'd and I could 2 KO this thing back. So the crit definitely mattered in terms of 2 KOing me and trapping me. But I couldn't be trapped because of my ghost typing. So I don't know what I was saying there, but still the crit hurt a lot. It put me in range of it put me. I mean, I guess the crit didn't matter a ton since I was trapped in, or I wasn't trapped in because of my ghost typing. But it still got off extra damage on my Golurk. But right here we do get a freeze on his Doug Trio, which is very unfortunate for him. As now I'm able to stay in with my Golurk and just Ice Punch again, as he is staying frozen. As maybe he could have got up his rocks. Maybe he could have got up his rocks. I'm not sure what his Doug Trio had, but he didn't really comment about this freeze at all. So I don't know. I mean, it didn't matter a ton. It didn't matter a ton, as I would have brought him down to his sash anyway. But it did hurt him a little bit. So as I am able to get up free rocks right there, as he does stay frozen solid, and I'm just able to Ice Punch again, as Golurk picks up its 7th kill of the season, which is very, very nice, leading my team by far. As right here he goes into his Charizard, as I'm just going to switch out into my Arcanine, my easy switch into this. As right here he's just going to fire off a Fire Blast, and right here he sees a Flamethrower as he sees the Flash Fire. So he knows he has to switch out. Right here I just fire off a Flare Blitz in the sun, as the Grand Bull tries to come in, and even after Intimidate, look at that Flare Blitz damage. 54% off on the Grand Bull. That's not a Weavile switching anymore. His Weavile switching is just gone now, as the Flare Blitz does 54% to a Grand Bull. I'm not even invested at all in attack. I think I may have put 4 EVs into attack, but still, that just shows the power of Flare Blitz and in the sun with Flash Fire. With a Flash Fire boost, is very nice. Right here, I definitely expected him to go out into his Gligar or his he could have went into his Flash Fire Houndoom, but I just kind of expected him to go into his Gligar, so it's Flare Blitzed again instead of Wild Charging. As that was the correct play, it seems, as Gligar is going to take a clean 30% from this Flare Blitz. So right here, I'm just going to switch out into my Golurk. I'm going to try to pressure these rocks, as he knows that I'm going to keep him up 1v1 versus the Gligar. So he makes a nice offensive switch into his Houndoom, as he knows he could have taken an Ice Punch if I decided to go for that. But right here, as you can see, I do just sack off my Golurk. I didn't see much use for it. I don't live anything from the Galvantula. I don't live anything from the Mega Charizard Y. I don't live anything from the Houndoom. I guess I can OHKO the Gramble and the Gligar still, but I felt the Gligar was low enough to where I didn't need to keep this around for pressuring the Gligar with rocks and Ice Punch. But right here, I'm able to go into my Weavile, as I actually just remember Low Kick is a 100% OHKO on Houndoom. It does 106 to like 125, I think was the roll. So I did misspeak on that. So the Low Kick was a definite OHKO, which is why I went out into this. As I kind of expected him to expect the Low Kick, but I couldn't really overpredict right now, so I just fire off a Low Kick as he goes into his Grand Bull. And right here, I could have definitely stayed in and Icicle crashed, as I'm pretty sure that would have killed from that range, but I didn't want to risk a miss just like week 1. So I just go hard into my Metagross, as he really couldn't do too much to me. He could fire off a T-Wave, but as you can see, he fires up an EQ, and he only does 23% due to my Sugar Berry. So now I can just fire off a Meteor Mash, as nothing wants to switch into that. As I do land the Meteor Mash, and I do get an attack boost, which you'll see won't matter because he just goes out into his Houndoom. And right here, as obvious as I really thought my Arcanine switching was super obvious. So I kind of made a stupid play here. So or no, I didn't make a stupid play. Okay, that's later on the battle. Sorry guys. So he just fire. This is where I make the stupid play. So right here he did Fire Blast, and I got my He Fire Blast, and I got my Flash Fire boost, and I really expected him to double out into his Gligar and try and defog. But I guess I don't think he did live to. Actually, I didn't want to wild charge because if his Gligar came in, he got the free defog and the rocks were gone for the rest of the game. So I really wanted to pressure him and keep those rocks up by doubling back out into my Metagross because Ice Punch would kill and put a lot of offensive pressure on his team. But he just Dark Pulse to my Arcanine right there, so I do drop to that. So now, but I can go right into my Weavile here. That's where I can just fire off another low kick, as low kick into any move will kill anything on his team. So right here, I do this low kick, as it does 8% to this Gligar. And right here, I definitely should have Ice Sharded, as it was a guaranteed kill on this Gligar, but I risked the Ice Go Crash and me missing and him defogging, but it was okay, as I do land it. As right here, the way he brought in his Galvantula, I mean, either this is the only thing he could bring in, or else, because, Weavile killed the Mega Charizard Y and the Houndoom from where they were, especially thanks to Rock. So I was really expecting this to be Scarf, or it was either Scarf or he lost the game to Weavile. So just scouting for a Scarf, kind of, I just go right out into my Arcanine as he bug buzzes there. He could, after the game, he told me that he calced something wrong and he should have Volt Switch there, which I guess that could have changed the game. I'm not really sure. But right here, we're going to see him just go sack off his Mega Charizard Y, as he is just going to drop to a I do Morning Sun up first. As right here, he's going to Roost, as this Flare Blitz does a nice amount of damage, 47%. As right here, I think I'm just gonna Wild Charge, or I just Flare Blitz again. There's no reason not to Flare Blitz, as now I'm at 52%, kind of vulnerable to some of his moves. As right here, he brings out the Houndoom, so I am just going to stay in. As I should have tried the Morning Sun up, as that was kind of stupid on my part, as I could have beat this thing 1v1, and completely stopped a any possible Galvantula sweep. But I do just I'm able to go back out to my Weavile, as I'm just able to knock off if you wanted to like double into his Galvantula or something. So now it's a 3-to-1 situation. I was really expecting this thing to be Scarfed, so I just Ice Shard right here. Get off some damage to put it in range of any of my attacks from Mew. And I knew if he was Scarf Galvantula, there was no way he was killing my Mew. So, yeah, we do live that, and, we're gonna fire off the Psychic, and that is a nice 2-0 win for us. So, GG to Hunter. After the game, he did confirm to me that, his Galvantula was Scarf, which is very good, that I didn't play stupidly around that. So, yeah, guys, that's gonna be the game right there. We are now 2-1 with a +4 differential, and, really quick, I'm just gonna show you guys the, standings for the Magma division, which is the division that I am in. And there we nope. Okay. Sorry guys that it's lagging a little bit, but I'm in the Magma division, and as you can see, after my win versus the Texan Trappers, he dropped it 2-1 +3, and I am 2-1 +4. So due to that, I am now in second place behind the Baltimore Braviers, who have yet to play their Week 3 match. So we'll see if I move up or down depending on that game. But right now I'm currently in second place, which is nothing to be mad about. So yeah, guys, thank you guys for watching. I haven't played my Week 4 match yet, so that'll be out next Thursday. I'll definitely be back on track with uploading these. But yeah, guys, thank you guys for watching, and I'll see you guys next time. Peace out.